here from the Scrappy Sisters, and I am up today with a layout for the Confessions of a Paper Addict cut file shop. And today is a super exciting collab for the whole week. I can't remember what day in the week I'm appearing, but for the whole of this week we are doing an awesome collab with SpiegelMom Scraps. So we have got these cute sequins called Vintage Dowry, and they're just beautiful kind of pastel colors, kind of peachy pinks and light blues, and there's even one that sort of reflects green. They're beautiful, beautiful, beautiful collection. And Virginia has released a whole heap of cut files with the sort of perfect match theme. So sort of love, marriage, that kind of thing. I have chosen this cut file. She's called Puzzle Heart, I think. So you can see it's like a heart with jigsaw puzzle pieces. And I think I'm going to use these photos here of me and my son. And I'm also using the Cocoa Vanilla Happiness collection, which was one of the collections that came out last year. I think Midnight was the most recent, and then Happiness before that. And obviously they're about to release another one, or have done by the time this goes up. I'm thinking I'm going to use one of these as a background piece, but I'm not 100% sure yet. I'm just sort of working on a few different ideas. So I kept the inside parts that were whole of the puzzle pieces, and I'm thinking I want to try a couple of different things with the sequins to see if it's going to work. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm thinking I saw Jen Scow, I don't know how you pronounce her surname, use red line tape to attach sequins to her project. So I thought I might try that. And one of the things I thought I might try is covering a couple of the puzzle pieces with sequins. Yeah, so we're just gonna give it a shot to see if it works, and if it doesn't, that's okay. We'll come back with idea number 2 for using these beautiful sequins on this layout. So I'm going to skip to fast forward voiceover mode. You won't watch me cover all of these puzzle pieces in sequins because that will take hours and ain't nobody got time for that. But I'll at least film the start just to see if it's going to work, and then I'll come back and show you what I've ended up with. All right, wish me luck. Okay, so I've zoomed in so you can see this bit a little bit clearer, but I'm actually just going to use the red line tape and sort of place it over the edge of the puzzle piece. This was a little messy. I don't know if there is an easier way that I could have done this, but it was a little messy with the overhang of the red line tape. The red line tape is quite a lot thicker, in my opinion, than regular double-sided tape, and it was quite difficult to trim around the edges. So you'll see me in a minute sort of trim the excess tape off, and it was quite difficult to do. I did try to trim it with the kind of red part of the tape still attached, but that was just as difficult. So it worked in the end and it was fine, but it was a little fiddly. Just so you know, in the interests of full disclosure, it was a little fiddly. So yes, you can see here I'm folding some of the bits of tape over, but because the tape is so thick, if you folded it all over, it does make it very thick to then stick sequins on top of. But that's okay, we got there in the end. So I'm still trimming, and then I'm going to tip the sequins out beside me so I can sort of see what I've got to work with. This sequin pack has more of the kind of peachy tones, and really the kind of green and blues and purples and pinks are kind of a lot less. So I just wanted to make sure when I was sticking them down that I sort of had, you know, some of the other colours scattered in between as well. And I am literally just picking the sequins up with my fingers and then sticking them down on the double-sided tape. Now I tell you after you've watched me stick these few on, when I come back to the live part, that I did 3 puzzle pieces, and I used 2 with red line tape and 1 with the Tombow Aqua Mono Adhesive, is that what it's called? Mono Liquid Glue Aqua version. So the blue container. It did not work as well, and I wouldn't recommend that. The red line tape worked fabulously and I barely had any of the sequins come off. So I will definitely be using red line tape in the future if I do anything like this again. Yeah, it worked fabulously. So I've nearly finished and I'm going to come back to live. You don't have to watch me do the rest. I just wanted to show you the example of kind of what I have done. And then I just continued along this vein for the whole of the puzzle piece. And that's it. I'll switch back to live and you can hear me explain. Okay, I am back. I have covered 3 puzzle pieces in sequins, as you can see here. And I'm really happy with how they turned out. 2 I used double-sided tape, red line tape here. I used this stuff. And then this one I actually used glue. I went with the Tombow Mono liquid glue, the aqua version. So I don't know yet, this one's not quite dry, the glue one, to know which is stuck better. But the red line tape has stuck them on really well. So that has worked well. So I am going to, I think, use this piece as my background with my cut file. And I actually think I'm going to back just a couple of the puzzle pieces with some papers from the collection. I've got my 6x8 paper pad here. I haven't used any of it yet. So I think I'm going to do that. I will do that off camera because it takes a long time, as you well know. And yeah, nobody wants to sit through that. But I'm not going to back all of them, I don't think. I'll just back a few. I might back some in vellum perhaps. And yeah, so I'm going to do that and then come back and then put the final layout together. All right, so here I am. You can see that I have covered how many holes? Is it 6? 8 maybe. Sections of puzzle pieces. Not all of them were whole sections, and I used 4 different pattern papers from the Happiness collection. I did decide, as I said in the sort of last live bit, that I was going to use this background piece as my background. It's sort of the border piece. I'm not sure what it's called. I did cut the edge off. I probably could have checked what it was called, but I didn't. Is it called Sprinkles maybe? I think. I don't know. But anyway, that is what I have used as my background. And now I'm sort of working out where I might put my photos. My son woke up. This is me coming back literally, I think it was 4 days later by the time I got back to this layout. So yes, that was moderately amusing. But I am now, what am I doing? Layering, backing my photo. Adding some layers behind it from the Happiness papers as well, and I choose 2 papers to layer up. I think I've got the one that I'm doing now is like the blue kind of, it's a spotty-ish type of pattern. It's not a regular spot though, it's a very irregular spot. So I'm using that first, and then I come in with like a multicolour, really cool piece of paper actually, and I use that as well. So I'm just using my scissors to trim it because I'm not all about things being even and exact. I am happy with the kind of slightly imperfect look. So I think I stuck, yeah, I did. I stuck down my cut file. So I'd put dimensionals just in the pieces of the cut file that had been covered. And so there's nothing else holding up the cut file, but it's enough to keep it popped up. And then I've backed my photo, as I said, on those 2 pieces of colour paper. I was just checking if I wanted to do a 3rd layer, but I decided I didn't, that 2 was more than enough. So I have done that. And now I'm going to lay out some embellishments. And I do sort of start to plan out my layout, but then I just start sticking because, you know, I was sort of happy with the direction it was taking, and I thought, let's just stick it all down. I am sticking some foam dots. These are the Kaisercraft ones. They're a bit higher than my Stampin' Up! Dimensionals, so I wanted to use those because I wanted my photo to be slightly above the cut file. So I'm sticking some of those directly onto the page. That's why you can see me bring the photo up every now and again to make sure that I am putting enough down to give enough for my photo to rest on. So you can see me there. I've stuck my photo down, and now I am sort of placing my puzzle pieces around just to see where they might go, and then I start throwing on a few embellishments, and then I just come in and start sticking. So I thought, let's not worry about it. We know what we're going to do, let's just do it. I really wanted to use these tassels because I didn't know when else I would use it, and this is kind of a fun, colourful, bright layout that I thought tassels wouldn't be too crazy out of place on, so they make it onto the layout. And you can see me here going through some of the ephemera pieces that I had pulled out on the right hand side, and then I just decide, once I start layering some things up, let's just start sticking. Let us just start sticking. I was really happy with how these puzzle pieces turned out. I am not a big one to use sequins. I've done it a few times, but I don't actually own that many sequins. And then when Virginia told us that Jodie from SpiegelMom Scraps was going to do a collab with us, I was like, oh, this is going to be exciting because I don't use a lot of sequins. I've always admired Jodie's sequin mixes that she does with SpiegelMom Scraps. And I thought, how awesome, this is going to be great. And then we got our package delivered and Jodie sent us 3 packs of sequins. So not even these ones, which we were using for the collab, but she sent 2 other packs as well. So now I have extra sequins. I might even share them with Jess if she's lucky. I might not though. Nah, I probably will. That's me being cheeky. I did actually use almost a whole pack of sequins on this layout though. Which was moderately amusing because it used a lot, sticking them down like this. So you do get a lot of sequins, but these did use a lot. So I am sticking things down as I said I was, and I'm starting with my cluster on the bottom left, and I'm sticking down the puzzle piece, which I popped up on some foam, and now I'm grabbing some other foam from my stash to pop up the tassels that I'm going to put down there. And I'm just using the Stampin' Up! Dimensionals foam, which I'm just cutting because I'm at the edge of it. So I like to use every last bit. Why wouldn't you? It's expensive stuff. So you don't want to leave anything. The waste sections around the edge are still perfectly good foam. So you want to make sure you use every last skerrick of it, which I do. So I'm sticking down that cluster down in the left, and then I'll move to the other 2 clusters. So here I am coming up to the top right of the photo and sticking that down. So in my description box, I will leave links to obviously everything that I use for the Confessions of a Paper Addict stuff. So I'll link to Virginia's Etsy shop. I'll try to remember to link to this cut file specifically, and also the Facebook group. So the Confessions of a Paper Addict Facebook group is fabulous. There's so many great women on there sharing layouts and getting inspired by each other, and it's brilliant. And they don't have to be layouts that just use cut files. We also share layouts that don't use cut files. And it's fabulous. But also I will link to SpiegelMom Scraps shop, and I think Jodie also has a Facebook page for SpiegelMom Scraps, so I'll make sure I link to that as well, so you can go and check out them. The design team I know for SpiegelMom Scraps is fabulous, and they are so creative with the things they come up with for using sequins. So if you're someone that loves sequins and you're looking at buying some, definitely check out Jodie's sequin mixes. And she makes, I think she releases new ones every month, and she often makes them to coordinate with all of like the larger collections that come out. So I know she's done some for Cocoa Vanilla collections, and you know, all of the usual big name collections. I think she often does sequin mixes that kind of match with those, which is pretty cool. And then I know she does like Christmas ones and everything. I've been admiring her from afar for quite some time. So definitely go and check them out. And if you're a lover of sequins and you already have a big stash, make sure you check out her DT as well, because they give you lots of great ideas on how to use sequins on layouts. So yeah, definitely go check them out. So I'm still working on this top right cluster. I have stuck down my puzzle piece. I used a little word strip that says my happiness, and then another little tassel. Funny story, I don't do any journaling on this layout, but again, my 12 by 12 layouts sit alongside my pocket page layouts, and that's where all my journaling goes. But this photo is actually, the one on the left is a before photo of before we had our 4-month injections for Link, and then the photo on the right is after our 4-month injections. So yes, that's what the photos are, which I thought was quite amusing that I was using them in this context of a layout, but I think it just looks super cute. And I just love these bright colours. I just love Cocoa Vanilla. I know I've said it a billion times. I really need to stop kind of waxing lyrical about Cocoa Vanilla, but I do love their collections. I know they're very similar, but again, you could say that about lots of people's collections. Maggie Holmes comes to mind for me. She creates quite similar collections, but I'm okay with that. Once you like something, I think you like it, which is good. So I've just trimmed off the excess on the bottom right little cluster that I was working on. And then I think I am adding the large sequins. Am I doing that now? Yes. So in the sequin pack, there were 5 very large round sequins. They were kind of like a peachy, coppery, it's very hard to describe colour, and I decided to add those to the layout just as little kind of accents, and I added them to my clusters. So there's 2 in the top right cluster, there's 2 in the bottom left cluster, and 1 in the bottom right cluster. So I'm adding in those, and then I'm pretty sure that I'm doing my title, obviously. I was about to say I'm done, but I'm not. Clearly I add my title that says, "You have a piece of my heart." Oh, isn't that so sweet? True though. Isn't that right when you have a child? It's like part of you kind of goes with that person. It's hard to describe. It's different, I think, than, the love you have for a partner. Don't get me wrong, I love my partner, but it's different when you have a child, I think, in my personal opinion. Anyway, that's enough of that soppy stuff. I am just doing some splatters, as always. This is the navy Heidi Schwab Colour Shine. What am I going to do when I run out of this? I have no idea. And I'm going to put some splatters around the page, and then I'm done. I hope you guys love this layout. I was so happy with how it turned out, and the sequins, I think, just add that really nice touch, and I just think it looks fabulous. Go and check out all of the other ladies' videos for the week, and you'll see how they have used sequins on their layouts, and also obviously with the awesome perfect match themed cut files that Virginia has created. She always does the best releases. She's so talented in coming out with ideas for cut files. I don't know how she does it. She's so creative. But everything will be linked down below, so make sure you go and check it out. And I will see you guys in our next video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to give you a close-up in a minute, even though it's a fast one. But yeah, go to the Facebook page if you want to see more close-ups. So thank you guys for watching, and we will see you in the next one. All right, here it comes. I'm about to say bye, but I'm still doing the close-ups. It's coming, it's coming. Here we go. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next one. Bye.